Hello, I'm Cath. My channel is Made by Cath Craft. Thank you very much for joining me for my latest video. So this video is a type of video that I haven't filmed for quite a while. I don't think I've done one of these videos this year, but it's one I really enjoy filming, so I thought it was about time to do another one. And it is a week of my handmade wardrobe. So what I'm planning to do is pop on every day this week from today, which is Saturday, through to Friday, and share with you what I'm wearing each day from my handmade wardrobe. And I'll talk a bit about the pattern, any adjustments or pattern hacks I've made, the fabric I've used, how I've styled it, and that sort of thing. And I often just include a little bit about what I'm up to through the week as I chat along too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to revisiting this type of video for my first one this year. So as I mentioned, today is Saturday. It's Saturday morning here right now. So my children are home from school, my husband's not at work, which is nice. Unfortunately, the weather is not great today. It's a very grey, rainy morning out there. But according to the forecast, it's going to improve later. It's going to brighten up. So we're hoping to make it out for a family bike ride this afternoon. So fingers crossed. But with that in mind, I wanted to wear quite a practical outfit that will be nice and work well for me getting on my bike. So today I've got on a pair of ready-to-wear jeans and then a handmade sweatshirt. And I'm actually also wearing a pair of handmade pants. I won't show you those, but they are the Tilly and the Buttons Iris knickers, which I find really comfy. So I'm enjoying having those on today. But I'll talk a bit more about the sweatshirt I'm wearing today. I made it using one of my favourite sweatshirt patterns. So you might recognise the pattern. It is this one here. It is the Nielsen Jar sweatshirt pattern. And I really like this pattern because it's just got loads of different options built in. So I think it's a pattern you can really get your money's worth from and make lots of different versions that look quite different to each other. And it's got some interesting, quite unique options to this tie front version. But today I'm just wearing this classic sweatshirt version here with the sort of crew neck and dropped shoulders and the bottom band and cuffs. And I think this sweatshirt works really well for showcasing quite a bold print because it's quite a simple style to it. And obviously the print I've got on today is quite bold. Oh, and I should mention the Jar sweatshirt has a really good size range. I've got the paper version which goes from a US 0 up to 20, but there's also a curve range which I think goes from 14 to 30. And I always make the size 0, which is my bust size, and it's slightly smaller on the waist and hips than me, but the Jar's got quite a boxy fit, so I still find there's plenty of room there, even though the waist and bust for that size are slightly smaller than me. I still find, yeah, there's plenty of room. It is designed to be a little bit oversized. So the version I'm wearing today is, I've got it made in this fabric which I got from the Beyond the Pink Door quite a while ago, and it's a fleece back sweatshirt fabric. And I think maybe about a couple of years ago, this fabric was available from quite a few fabric shops in quite a few different colourways. In this kind of, it's quite a cute grid print, and it's a nice soft fleece back sweatshirting. And I saw that Beyond the Pink Door was selling this really pretty dusky pink colour, which I hadn't seen in this fabric up until that point. And I thought it was a really pretty colour, so I snapped that up. And then I remember when I got it, I wasn't sure what to use for the neckband and the cuffs. I think I had in mind I just used the fabric itself, but I thought actually with the grid print and with the neckband being slightly stretched, it might look a bit distorted, so I thought it'd be better to choose some ribbing. So I wasn't really sure what ribbing to go for, and in the end I went for this dark grey, which I think works quite well with the dusky pink fabric. But I'm never quite sure about this sweatshirt when I wear it. Maybe it's not one of my favourites, so it's perfect for a bike ride, where I don't really care too much if I get a bit dirty. Well, I probably won't get too dirty, but you know, we might be going down a few sort of muddy paths and things, so if there gets a bit of mud in it, I don't really mind because it's not one of my favourites, I guess. But it's nice to have a few sweatshirts that you are a bit relaxed about, I think, and yeah, I don't mind getting a bit dirty. So this is one of those. So yeah, I don't know why it's not one of my favourites. Maybe it is the kind of grey and pink combination. I'm not sure, but it's really lovely and comfy and cosy to wear because the weather is still quite chilly out there. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. I think with the Jar sweatshirt, I make the size 0 and I usually just lengthen the sleeves a little bit, which is kind of a standard adjustment for me. And I also lengthen the body by 1 inch or 2 because the Jar sweatshirt I find comes up a little bit on the short side. It is not the sort of longest sweatshirt, so I've made it a bit longer. I'll put a picture up so you can see, just so it kind of covers the middle area. So if I'm sitting on the bike leaning forward, it will still be kind of covering the top of my jeans, which would be good. So yeah, that is what I'm wearing today. So I'm going to pop off now. I've got a bit of homework to do with the children this morning to get out of the way before we head out this afternoon. So yeah, wish us luck. Hopefully we won't get wet, and I will see you again tomorrow for Sunday. Bye! Hello, it's Sunday morning now. It's another quite grey day here today, although it's not raining at the moment. And in case you're wondering, we made it out on the bike ride yesterday afternoon. There was a break in the rain and the sun actually came out on our ride, which was really nice. We were quite lucky there. It actually started raining again just as we got back to the car, so we managed to time it pretty well. So the kids and I piled into the car and stayed nice and dry. My husband did get a little bit wet because he had to put the bikes back on the bike rack before we could head home, but it sounds a bit harsh that I stayed in the car and stayed dry while he was doing that, but it's one of those jobs that he likes to do on his own. I think he finds it easier if I'm not helping. I'm probably more of a hindrance than a help when it comes to the bike rack. So we waited in the car while he got that sorted, and it wasn't a horrible downpour, so we didn't get too wet. So yeah, it was really nice to get out on that ride. But anyway, yes, it's Sunday today, and our plans for today are we're cooking a roast dinner, and my mum and sister and niece are coming over to join us for it a little bit later. So after I finish filming this, I'm going to go and start getting cooking. So it should be a nice day. And I decided to wear a dress today, but I wanted to wear quite a practical, comfy dress because I know later today I'll be down on the floor playing with my children and my niece. That'll be the afternoon plans. So I wanted to wear something pretty but comfortable, and I think this dress fits the bill. It's a dress I made using a pattern from one of the Sew Over It ebooks. It's the only Sew Over It ebook I have, and it is their City Break ebook. And I'll link it down below, and I'll try and link all the patterns and fabrics that I talk about in this video. Some of the fabrics might not be available anymore because I usually sort of wear a variety of newer makes where the fabrics might be available and older makes where they're probably not, but I'll link everything I can down below wherever possible. But yeah, this is the City Break ebook, and the dress I'm wearing is the Molly dress. I'll show you the line drawings for it. It's one I really like. You can make it as a top or a dress, and it's designed for sort of jersey fabric. So I've made it in cotton jersey and also French terry. I'm wearing a French terry version today. So it's a dress with a fairly wide neck, quite dropped shoulders, and then it's got quite a relaxed fit. It's not designed to be too close fitting. So it's a really comfy one to wear, and it's quite a quick, speedy sew too. And it hasn't got the biggest size range. I know all of Sew Over It's new patterns, they have a really good size range, a broad size range they're releasing, but this is one of the older ones, so it only comes in a UK 8 up to a UK 20, so it goes from a bust of 33 inches up to a bust of 45 inches. And I always make the UK 8, that is bang on my waist and hips measurement, so it's designed for a waist of 26 and hips of 36, and the bust is 33 inches, so 1 inch larger than me, but I always find that fine. There's not loads of room there anyway, and I generally wear it over a t-shirt when I'm wearing the dress version, just for a bit of extra coziness. So it's quite nice having that bit of extra room. And like with the Jar sweatshirt I was wearing yesterday, the main adjustment I made was just to lengthen the sleeves a little bit. And the version I'm wearing today is quite a new version. It's a dress I made this year. I got this fabric from Fabric Godmother in the sort of Christmas and New Year sales. I've been looking for some nice French terry to make another Molly dress for a while, and I saw this print and I thought it was really pretty. So it's got a black base and then these sort of almost sort of watercolour effect flowers in sort of peachy and very pale yellow, and then a sage green. And yeah, I thought it was quite a nice scale, quite a nice size of the flowers. And yeah, when I saw this fabric, I knew I wanted to make a Molly dress. So it's a sort of French terry loop back jersey fabric. So it is printed on, but I find it's quite a nice quality fabric, so if you stretch it you can't see any sort of white underneath from the printing. So yeah, I've worn this dress loads actually. I really enjoy wearing it. It's really nice and comfy, so perfect kind of jersey day dress for slightly cooler weather. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. I've actually got it on over a Agnes tee that I made by tilling the buttons underneath, just in navy cotton jersey. I'll show you a peek of that too. I find the Agnes tee has quite a nice sort of wide scoop neck, so it works really well over dresses that have a wider neck, although actually I think on this version of the Molly, I brought the neck in slightly because it is quite a wide neck, and I found t-shirts do often peep out the side, so I think I might have just brought the neck in slightly on this version, just to make it a bit more snug around there. And I did think about using ribbing for the neckband, maybe adding some cuffs on this version, but actually in the end I just thought I'd keep it really simple. And yeah, it's one I always enjoy getting out. I really love the colour palette for this one. So that's what I'm wearing today, so I better head off now and get cooking. I always find it takes quite a long time, the whole process of the roast, so I want to get the meat in the oven now so it's ready, not too late, because I find as soon as it gets to about midday, the children are always sort of famished. So yeah, I want to make sure I make a good schedule for the roast dinner. So I will leave you now, and I will see you again tomorrow for Monday. So yeah, bye. Hello, it's Monday morning now, so my children have gone off to school this morning. My husband's gone to work, so it feels quite quiet in the house today after quite a busy, loud weekend. So yeah, it's a bit mild outside today, which is quite nice. So I decided I would wear a blouse. I haven't worn a blouse for absolutely ages, but that is what I like about filming a week of my handmade wardrobe videos, because it does encourage me to reach for different things in my wardrobe to kind of mix it up a bit more. So yeah, I'm wearing a blouse I really love today. And the pattern comes from this magazine here, which is the 5 Mood magazine issue number 16. It's the only 5 Mood magazine I have. I've made 2 patterns from it and I really love them both. And the blouse I'm wearing today is the Ermine blouse pattern. I'll open up the page so you can see what it looks like. It's such a pretty one, I think. Here it is. So yeah, it's this blouse for woven fabrics with a button down front, and it's got a couple of really pretty details to it, including this sort of this V-shaped gathering at the front and this lovely line of gathering at the back too, with a yoke above it. And I think it's quite nice because it's got those lovely details, but then it's also got something quite simple about it in terms of quite a simple round neckline with no collar, which I quite like actually. And it's finished with bias binding, and I really like that finish. And then it's got very simple plain sleeves, again without a cuff. It's just a sort of turned under finish at the end there. So yeah, when this blouse first came out, it was the first 5 Mood pattern that I'd seen and thought I want to sew that definitely. So yeah, I snapped up the magazine and I really enjoyed sewing it, and this is the first version I've made. I've made one more version since. So yeah, I found the 5 Mood magazine a bit different to your average pattern because the pattern comes, they're sort of all crisscrossing each other, so you have to kind of figure out which pieces you need and trace them out. And then you also have to add on seam allowances, because the seam allowances aren't included when you buy the sort of physical magazine, although they are included if you buy the 5 Mood PDF patterns. But it was fine, they kind of hold your hand through how to do it. It's very clear how you add the seam allowances and how much to add. So yeah, I didn't find it wasn't tricky, it just took a bit longer than your average pattern to sort of prepare before you got to the stage of cutting. But I really enjoyed sewing it, and I love this version. I made it in a viscose challis fabric that I was gifted by Minerva in exchange for a blog post. So I think this fabric's still in stock. I'll link it down below if it is, and I'll also link my blog post in case you fancy having a read. But it's a lovely, really pretty fabric with this sort of deep red base and these pretty little blue flowers on it. And I do love a ditzy floral print. And then I added on little blue buttons to sort of match the flowers, and I think it's quite a cute feature. And because it's such a busy print, I think, you can't see the sort of details of this blouse as well as you would if I'd kind of chosen like a totally plain fabric. So I like how the blue buttons do sort of still pick out that there is a button placket there. But yeah, I love the V-shaped pleating. I don't know whether you can see it very well. Hopefully you can see it a bit that goes down there. And I really love the back too. I'll turn around so you can hopefully see the back. I think the gathering effect in a drapey piece of swishy fabric looks really pretty. I'll try and turn around so you can hopefully see. Hopefully you can see it there. In terms of sizing, 5 Mood patterns have a good size range. I've just got the details here. They go from an extra small up to a 3XL, which goes from a bust of 30 inches up to a bust of 58 inches. And then what you have to do is sort of figure out the kind of group sizes together. So I went for the extra small, which covers a size 4 and 6. I think my measurements were right at the top of that category, but when I looked at the finished garment measurements, there was a fair bit of ease in this blouse. It isn't designed to be close fitting, it's quite a loose fitting blouse. So I went for that size and it worked out well. I think I lengthened the sleeves slightly as ever. The only thing I think I changed from this blouse to my second version was I found that the button placket ended up a bit stiff on this version because you kind of interface the whole placket, both pieces, I think. So it ends up being quite a lot of interfacing down the front, so it's a little bit stiff. So yeah, I think I sort of reduced the amount of interfacing I used on my second version, but it is fine on this version. It's just a little tweak I made second time around. But I love wearing this one. I think this pattern works really well in like a lightweight, swishy fabric. I guess if you made it in maybe a thicker fabric that had a bit less drape, you'd really see those pleats and it'll be maybe a little bit more voluminous, but I find the drape works really well on this version, so I really enjoy wearing it. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. I've just got it on with a pair of jeans today, nice and simple. So yeah, that's the mean blouse that I'm wearing today for Monday. I'm going to go off now. I've got a few chores to do this morning, so I'll leave you now and I'll pop back on again for tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. I always find when I do these videos, the week starts flying by. So anyway, I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Hello, it's Tuesday morning now. It's about 9:30 and I've just got back from the school run. And I'm back a little bit later than usual because after I dropped the children off, I walked down to the supermarket to get a few bits, including some Easter eggs. I thought I'd get organised early this year. And then I ended up walking back with a friend of mine and we had a nice chat, so that was lovely. But I'm back home now. I've made myself a cup of tea and I thought I'd sit down and share with you what I'm wearing today. And actually, the weather's quite mild today. It's definitely warming up a bit after quite a cold winter. The sun's also trying to break through today, although there's been some rain as well, so I don't know what's going to happen on the weather front. But I thought it was mild enough to get out this dress, which is one I haven't worn a lot because I made it last year, I think around autumn time, and then the weather suddenly got colder, a bit too cold for this one. So it's nice to get it back out again this week. And I made this dress using a pattern by French Navy and the expansion pack version of the pattern. So the original pattern is this one here. It is the Forsyth dress, and it's a really nice woven dress pattern. I've made a couple of versions of this original pattern, but it's got this lovely panelled bodice and a button down back and a slightly gathered skirt and this sort of short sleeve. And it's kind of quite a nice fit to it. It's not close fitting, but it's not really oversized too. I find it a really comfy day dress and I often reach for my Forsyth dresses in the sort of spring, summertime. And then last year, French Navy introduced an expansion pack for the Forsyth dress, which I really love. It's a really nice expansion pack. So this is what the expansion pack version looks like. The button placket's been moved from the back to the front, but the panelled bodice is still there. And then it's also been sort of updated to give it a more of a, I guess, a cooler weather vibe with this sleeve, which is sort of 3/4 length and quite voluminous and then gathered into a little cuff. And it's kind of like a high-low cuff, which is a really pretty detail, I think. So when this version came out, I was really, really keen to try it. So I made my version here. As you can see, there's the lovely sort of gathered cuff on the sleeve. I think I did reduce the volume a little bit, so my version isn't quite as voluminous as per the pattern, because I didn't want to go really big sleeve. But yeah, it's a really nice pattern. I'll mention the size range first. That's the one downside of this pattern. It hasn't got the biggest size range at the moment. It goes from an extra small up to an extra large. And that takes you from a bust of 32 inches up to a bust of 41 inches. But I know French Navy are in the process of extending their size range, and they're going to be extending the size range on their existing patterns as well as new patterns, as far as I'm aware. So hopefully the Forsyth dress will be available in a larger pattern, larger size range in the not too distant future. But yeah, here's the line drawing just so you can see it. It's a really cute day dress, I think, with some lovely details. I like how the bodice panel line sort of feeds into the pocket line there. I think that's really pretty. And the gathering is just between the panelling at the front and back, so you don't get too much gathering around the sides. So yeah, my version I made, I think, in a size extra small, or is it extra small? The smallest size, because it does say on this pattern the bust measurement is the most important when choosing your size, and it's not necessary to grade between sizes if your hip measurements are a size or two larger than your bust measurement. And my hip measurement's only one size larger, so I just made the straight size extra small. And there's a fair bit of room on it. I don't actually have to undo the buttons either, because it's quite a wide neckline, so I could just pull it on over my head, although I did make functional buttons. And I had a bit of fun on this dress with the top stitching. As you can maybe see, I've added on sort of navy top stitching for the buttonholes, and I also, it's quite hard to see because it's quite a busy print, but on the panelling I top stitched the seam lines down with a navy thread too. But yeah, the version I made in this lovely cotton fabric that I got from Simply Fabrics. I don't think it's still in stock anymore, but I'll link the website down below because they often have lovely cotton fabrics coming through. It's like a really micro gingham in a sort of blue, a mid blue and a white, and it's quite a sort of, well, it's quite a substantial cotton. It's definitely quite a bit thicker than a cotton lawn, and it's got kind of like a sort of slightly textured feel. You can almost feel the sort of how that's been weaved together, I guess. And it's quite nice and cozy. It almost feels a bit like wearing a double gauze or something. It's lovely and soft and cozy, so it's quite nice for this weather where it's not really warm yet, but not super cold. I've got a vest top on underneath just for an extra layer as well. But yeah, I think the only adjustment I made was to reduce the volume of the sleeves slightly, and otherwise I think I made it per the pattern pretty much. I'll stand up a bit so you can see it. So it's got the nice pockets, and it's just quite a nice, comfy, relaxed one to wear. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. I really enjoyed adding these navy buttons on. I think they're quite cute and sort of stand out from the sort of gingham fabric. So yeah, it's nice to be able to get this one back out again. I've just got it on with a pair of tights. I thought I might need a cardigan as well today, but actually it's milder than I expected, so I'm able to wear it just on its own. I'm not sort of so used to this sort of 3/4 length sleeve, but I quite like it actually. It's perfect for things like preparing food and stuff because I don't have to worry about the sleeve dipping in the food at all, so quite practical too. So that's what I'm wearing today. I'm hoping to get a bit of sewing in this morning, so I'm going to go and do that now, which will be nice. Yeah, I don't often have a morning to sew in the week, so I'm going to enjoy taking my time and working on a couple of new projects. So that is my plan for this morning, and I'll pop on again tomorrow and see you for Wednesday. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye! Hello, it's Wednesday morning now, and I've just got back from the school run, and I've got to head back out in a moment because I've got a dentist appointment this morning, which I'm not particularly looking forward to, but it'll be good to get that out of the way. But I thought I'd pop on first and share with you what I'm wearing today. So I've got another dress on today, but it's a jersey dress pattern I'm wearing today, and it's this pattern here. It is the Kyello wrap dress pattern by Named Clothing. So I've got the old version of the pattern, which is for this sleeveless wrap dress that you make in this sort of flying squirrel style shape with these ties on the edge, and then you sort of wrap it round and it creates a really pretty shape. And as you can see, it's got some darts at the back for a bit of shaping there, and it's sort of full length with a little slit at the back. But the pattern has been updated. I think a couple of years ago at least it was updated to include a jumpsuit option and also a sleeve option. But yeah, my old version is just for the sleeveless, quite simple dress. I know it's a really, really popular pattern, and I really love wearing this one. I've got a few different versions, and the version I'm wearing today is my winteriest version. And as you can see, it has got sleeves on. There used to be a free sleeve add-on available on the Named website that you could download to add a sort of sleeve pattern piece onto the pattern, but I don't think that's available anymore. I think they took that down when they released the new pattern with the sleeve option included. But yeah, I use that add-on to make my version here, and I made it in a really simple black cotton jersey. This one is an organic cotton jersey that I got from Minerva. I got it a while ago, but I think they still have this range in stock, so I'll link it down below. It comes in quite a few colours. It's quite a nice lightweight jersey, but I find it's got quite a good recovery, which seems to work well for this dress because the sleeves are quite tight, so I haven't gone too baggy or anything like that. It's nice and comfy to wear. And I just wanted to make a really simple, basic wrap dress that I could just wear as a day dress. So this is my version. I did make a little tweak to the pattern. I added on a neckband, but I think the new version of the pattern actually includes a neckband. The old version, you either had to finish the neck just by turning under the fabric and sewing, and I tried that on one version. I found it stretched the neck out quite a bit, or you could add sort of like a jersey sort of binding, like a sort of little sort of binding underneath, but it did work better. But I thought a neckband would give it a bit more of a casual look, so that's what I went for. And then I made this dress to be just above the knee length, rather than the full length, because I thought that'd be more practical. But actually, whenever I wear this dress, it somehow feels a little bit formal at that length. So when I put it on today, I did think maybe I should just chop it a bit shorter by a couple of inches. That might feel more comfy for me because that's more of a length I'm used to wearing. I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. Let me know what you think, whether you think it might be better a couple of inches shorter or whether you like it this length. I am tempted maybe to just, shorten it a little bit, but It's a nice comfy one to wear. I'll stand up a bit so you can see the tie detail, which I think's really pretty and a bit different to any other dress patterns out there. I just think it creates quite a pretty effect, and it provides a bit of shaping and without having to get the sort of sizing of this dress bang on, just because you can wrap it around to sort of pull it to whatever your waist size is. And I should mention there are also darts at the front here as well, so there's a bit of shaping around the bodice there, which I think is quite a nice feature of this pattern too. And in terms of sizing, I think I made the UK size 6, which is designed for my bust of 32 inches, and that seems to fit fine. I guess the bust is the most critical measurement because that's the fitted bit of this dress, and then the waist is obviously it goes out in this sort of shape, so you can just pull it in to fit your waist quite easily once you've sewn it up. So yeah, I guess it's quite a good one for not worrying too much about the fitting because it is designed to sort of wrap round. But it's a really nice comfy one to wear, so I'm enjoying having it on today. But yeah, it does feel a little bit formal in that above the knee length, so yeah, I'm really tempted to chop it off a little bit. But that's what I'm wearing today. I better finish off now and get ready to head out to the dentist, so wish me luck there, and I will see you again tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow, bye! Oh, actually, one more thing. I just realised I forgot to mention the size range of the Kaelo dress and jumpsuit, and I know that's always really useful to know. It goes from a UK 4 up to a UK 28, so a fairly broad size range. But anyway, I better stop delaying and head out to the dentist now. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning, it's Thursday now. It's actually sunny outside today, which is really nice. I've been back from the school run for about an hour, and I'm currently feeling relieved because I've been trying to fix my sewing machine this morning. I got it out yesterday and turned it on, and the display went all funny and blank, which I haven't had happen before. So I turned it off, turned it back on again, the display popped up. But then when I tried to sew, it seemed to be skipping stitches, and I wasn't sure if that was just a coincidence or whether something had happened when the display had turned off and maybe upset the tension, or I don't even know. But anyway, I tried a few things yesterday, like changing the needle and rethreading, and nothing seemed to be working. It was still skipping the stitches. But this morning, I tried changing the needle again and rethreading again, and it seems to have done the trick, and it now seems to be sewing properly again without skipping any stitches. So I don't know whether there are a couple of needles that have gone duff or what, but I'm really relieved that it seems to be working for now, because I was thinking I might have to take it to the sewing machine repair man who's in the next town along. It's a bit of a drive, it's not very fun parking there, and he usually obviously has to take the sewing machine away for a few days to work on it, so I was really hoping I wouldn't have to do that. So fingers crossed it will carry on working for me, and it was just a little blip. But yeah, so that was a little bit of drama on the sewing front, but anyway, it seems to be working now, so I thought I'd pop on. Now I'm feeling a bit more relaxed about it, and share with you what I'm wearing today. So today I've got on a handmade t-shirt and a handmade skirt. The t-shirt I made using one of my favourite t-shirt patterns. It is the Solar Tee and Sweater by Paper Cut Patterns. It's quite a boxy, relaxed fit t-shirt, as you can probably see, with a dropped shoulder. This sort of shoulder seam is just there, and a kind of quite wide round neck. Those are the line drawings, just so you can see it. And it comes in now a UK 6 up to a UK 20, so it hasn't got the biggest size range ever on this one, but I just really like the shape of it, and I find it really nice and comfy to wear. This is one of my older Solar tees I'm wearing today, and I made it in this really lovely pointel cotton jersey that I got from Fabric Godmother. So if I come closer, you'll probably see the pointel on it, and I just really love the print on this one. I love the colour of the mustard with a leopard print, and I thought it was quite cute that it was kind of like a bit of a different style pointel than I'd seen before, because I think before I'd only really seen pointels in sort of pastel colours and plain colours. But it's really lovely and soft, this one, to wear, and it's also a bit thicker than your average jersey, so it's quite nice and cosy, this t-shirt actually too. When I made this, I just used the actual pointel for the neckband as well, and then I saw this fabric recently in a Hayley Jane box, and a lot of vloggers were talking about it when they did the unboxing, and a few of them were saying how, because pointel doesn't have great recovery, because I think it's 100% cotton, there's no elastane, so there's no real stretch other than in how it's knitted, it would be best not to use it for things like neckbands, which can be stretched out of shape. So I didn't know that when I made my t-shirt, so I just went ahead and used it for the neckband as well. It was my first, and I think only time, sewing with pointel actually, and luckily it seems to be okay. I think because it's quite a wide neckband, I don't really have to stretch it to get it over my head, So it seems to have washed and worn okay, and it isn't really stretched out of shape. So I think I've been a bit lucky there. If I say with pointelle again, I maybe would think about using some ribbing for the neckband instead. But yeah, I really love this t-shirt. I've worn it lots. It's really nice and comfy. And then I've paired my t-shirt with a skirt today, and I'll stand up just so you can see what the skirt looks like. As you can see, it's quite a bright combination I've got on today with the royal blue skirt and the mustard t-shirt, but I think those colours work quite nicely together. It feels nice and bright, especially after having worn a sort of all black outfit yesterday. I thought I'd go for something bright and colourful today. And I made this skirt using another pattern that I really like. Is this one here, the moss skirt by Grainline Studio. I think a lot of the Grainline Studio patterns have quite sort of simple, clean lines and shapes to them, and the moss skirt definitely does. It's quite a classic skirt, and I find it goes with quite a lot of different things in my wardrobe. So yeah, it's kind of a classic shaped skirt with a waistband, and you can add on like either a button or like a sort of jeans style button on there. It's got a fly front zipper and these slash pockets, and you can make it as a mini or a sort of a knee length if you add on this sort of oversized hemband feature. And then at the back it's got a little yoke, like a pair of jeans, which is quite a nice feature again. And it sews up really nicely, I find, and I just like how simple it is in style. So the version I'm wearing today I made in a corduroy fabric. It is quite a chunky corduroy. I'll stand up a bit closer to the camera so you can see how chunky it is. So it's not super chunky, but it's quite nice and thick and cosy. I think it might be an 8-wale corduroy, and that came from Minerva, and I think that range of corduroys is still in stock there, so I'll link it down below. They have it in quite a few different colourways, including this royal blue. And I made a sort of version of this skirt that's somewhere in between the mini, which I think is quite short, and the knee length. But I wanted to add the bottom band, so I think I chopped the mini off slightly and added the oversized hemband on to create a sort of skirt that's above the knee, but not really, really short, I guess. So yeah, I really enjoy wearing this one because it's in the corduroy. It's still nice and cosy for this slightly chillier weather, but it's quite comfy to wear too. And I think I made a size 0 at the waist and a size 2 at the hips. My measurements would put me as a straight size 2 for waist and hips, but the skirt's designed to sit just below your natural waist, and I wanted it to kind of sit more on my waist and hug my waist, so I just sized down one size there just to get that fit I wanted. And I have tweaked the skirt pattern a little bit. I think when I made it up originally, I found there's a bit of excess fabric around the yoke at the back because I've got a bit of a sway back. So I ended up scooping a little bit of fabric out of the yoke just because, yeah, there was just a bit too much fabric there. It was quite a straightforward adjustment, and now it just fits me a bit better at the back there without sort of gathering, there being a bit too much fabric there. So I'm glad I made that tweak. It feels like it fits me a lot better now since I did that. Oh, and I'll put a picture up so you can see what my outfit looks like on today. So my plans this morning are I need to pop into town. I've got to collect a pair of trainers that I've ordered for my son because he seems to have worn holes in his most recent pair of trainers in no time flat. And I'm hoping to meet up with a friend for a cup of coffee when I'm in town too, or a cup of tea. Actually, I don't really drink coffee, but anyway, we always say let's go for a coffee, even though it never actually ends up being coffee. It's always tea, but let's go for a tea just doesn't sound right somehow. I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting off subject here. I'm going to head off now. So I'll see you again tomorrow for Friday. I can't believe it's Friday tomorrow. This week has really flown by, as it always seems to do when I do these handmade wardrobe videos. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow for Friday. Yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning. It's Friday morning now, and it's the final day of this week of my handmade wardrobe. I can't believe it's gone so fast. This week has really dashed by. And it's a lovely sunny day here this morning. The sun has been streaming through the windows. It's gone behind a cloud just now, but it was streaming through when I set this camera up, so I had to put the curtain across the window a little bit because otherwise it would have been straight on me in my eyes. But yeah, it's a lovely day. So I dropped my children off at school this morning, and then I decided to take a different route home because I often walk home with a couple of friends down a sort of tarmacked path. But today, because I'd gone to the supermarket to get a few bits after drop off and I was on my own and it was such lovely weather, I thought I'd walk through the woods, which is an alternative way home. We don't often walk that way actually, but I thought it was such lovely weather, it'd be a lovely day to walk through a little bit of woods. But when I got to the woods, it was very, very muddy there. I hadn't really thought about how it's been raining all week. I'll put a picture up so you can see the muddy path. And I pretty much slipped and slid all the way down the path back home. My boots, luckily I was wearing leather boots rather than trainers, but the boots got quite muddy. I had to give them a good rinse when I got home. But I really did think I was going to slip over and end up head to toe covered in mud, and I get home, my husband would be thinking, what on earth has she been up to? But luckily I just about managed to stay upright and get home. So it was a bit of a more nail biting walk home from school than usual. But yeah, I'm back home now, so I thought I'd pop on and share with you what I'm wearing today. So since it's quite nice weather today, I thought I'd put on a sort of spring shirt, and I made this shirt using this pattern here. It's a pattern I really love, the Calais shirt and shirt dress pattern by Closet Core Patterns. So it's a really lovely shirt pattern. It's quite an oversized, relaxed fit shirt, and it's got quite a few different options built in. And it has a really good size range too. So I've got the 0 to 20 size range, but there's also a 14 to 32 size range, I believe it is, and those are US sizes. But I'll show you the line drawings, they're on the front of the pattern envelope, and I think they show them quite clearly. So there are 3 different length options and different collars. You can make like a full collar or a band collar, and I've got a band collar version on today. And it's got a lovely yoke on the back, and then you can either make it with a sort of box pleat or an inverted V pleat. It's got little cuffs for the end of the sleeves, and it's just got quite a nice relaxed fit. Oh, and it's got 3 different button placket options too. This pop over placket, a full sort of visible button placket, or a hidden placket. So the version I'm wearing today is pretty much view A. So it's got the band collar and the hidden placket, and I did go for the inverted V pleat at the back. So you can see the hidden button placket here. It's my only time I've sewn a hidden button placket, and I really enjoyed it actually. What I like about the Calais is it's a bit more of an involved sew, I find, but it's quite satisfying to work your way through all the different processes. I do like sewing shirts and shirt dresses. I guess you're often sewing them in a nice stable fabric, which I find makes it quite enjoyable. But I like all the little details. And I've got a little patch pocket on there too, which is optional. And then the short version, I think it's got a quite cute finish to the hem. You make this kind of oversized hem facing. I'll stand up a bit so you can see. And it kind of curves up at the side and then dips down lower at the back. And I made mine in this really lovely embroidered cotton broderie anglais type fabric, which came from Sew Me Sunshine. But this is quite an old make, so I don't think this fabric's available anymore. But if Sew Me Sunshine have any similar fabrics in stock, I'll link that sort of selection down below. But it's got these little daisies on it, which I thought were really cute. And I quite like this fabric slightly sheer, because it means you can see all the details of this shirt really nicely. So you can see kind of how the pocket has this little V on it, and you can see the hem quite nicely. I just like how the fabric shows those details up a little bit. So yeah, I think that I made the size 0 on this pattern, which is slightly smaller than my measurements. But when you look at the finished garment measurements for the Calais, it's designed to be quite oversized, and I didn't want mine really oversized, so I thought I'd size down. And the one main adjustment I made is to lengthen the crop version by I think a couple of inches, because it is really cropped. And now I've lengthened it, it comes down and sort of skims over the top of my jeans, which I quite like. I think if it was any shorter, it would end up just too short, and it'll be showing my midriff off. I'll stand up a bit again so you can see the length on me. So you can see a little peak of flesh slightly at the side where it comes up, but I don't mind that too much. And I think when I stand up and pull my jeans up a bit, you don't even see that. It's just because I've sort of sat down. That's showing a little bit there. Yeah, I really like this one. I don't get it out enough, but when I get it out, I really enjoy wearing it. It's nice and comfy, and I think I often tend to reach for like a jersey t-shirt, but the Calais shirt is a really comfy, relaxed one to wear too. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. I've just got it on with a pair of ready-to-wear jeans today. Quite a casual Friday outfit, but it feels a bit pretty with this lovely print. So that's what I'm wearing today. So yeah, I'm going to finish off this video now. So thank you so much for joining me for this week of my handmade wardrobe. It's been a lot of fun to film. As ever, it's got me reaching for some different things in my wardrobe, which is always a lot of fun too. So yeah, thanks for joining along with me. If you've enjoyed this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. As ever, if you're new to my channel, thank you very much for dropping by. Please do subscribe and press the bell icon, which means you'll then be notified when my future videos come out. And if you're an existing subscriber, then thank you for watching another one of my videos. I really, really appreciate it. So I hope you've had a good week too and managed to fit in a little bit of crafting somewhere in there. And I'll hopefully see you for another video soon. So thank you again for watching, and yeah, see you again soon. Bye!